Before I bring the ambassador who will speak and make a presentation, I would just like to say a few quick words that I had the opportunity of first meeting him on March the 8th with a group of activists, academicians, and members of the clergy, where we had some wonderful, frank, and open discussion about what's going on in South Africa today. It was at that time that the Honorable Ebrahim Rassol announced that he was coming here today to make the honor of a presentation. Just very quickly, this is a man like Brother Leo Robinson, man of struggle, fighter against apartheid, was arrested, held house arrest. While his struggle was waged within the sector of the interfaith community, he is indeed a freedom fighter as well. At this moment, I would like to bring to the stage Honorable Ebrahim Rassol, South African ambassador to the United States. Let's give him a round welcome and applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Clarence Thomas, former Secretary-Treasurer of the ILWU. I want to say to Mrs. Johnny Robinson and the Robinson family, I want to say to the contemporaries, the comrades of Leo Robinson, who stood with him, who fought with him, who supported him, who were led by him. I want to say to the leadership today of the ILWU, especially to Local TED, I want to say to everyone, the family, the colleagues, the friends, and the comrades of Leo Robinson, whose lives have been touched by this man, that on behalf of the people of South Africa, on behalf of the African National Congress, on behalf of Nelson Mandela and the leadership of the African National Congress, today our hearts go out to you in this moment when we express our condolences to all of you for the loss of a great human being, a great person, a great leader, a great worker, and a visionary. But we don't only come here to express condolences. We also come to express gratitude, because we know that without the ILWU under the leadership of Robinson, the end of apartheid may not have come as quickly as what in South Africa. Nelson Mandela would not have been freed as early as what he had been freed. The people of South Africa would not today be enjoying the democracy, the equality, and the human rights that we enjoy today. And all because there was a union and leader on the west coast of the United States of America, an entire ocean and an entire continent away from the southern tip of Africa, where we were not free. And in the greatest tradition of workers across the world and of the ILWU, Leo said, an injury to one is an injury to all. This memorial service to Leo Robinson cannot be more poignant and more emotional, because it comes in the week in which South Africans, on the 21st of March, commemorate that event that fired the solidarity in Leo Robinson when on the 21st of March in 1960, 69 people were gunned down in the village of Sharpeville after protesting the wearing of passes. And so it is entirely appropriate that we come today to commemorate Leo Robinson, as South Africans have transformed a day of massacre into a day to celebrate our Human Rights Day. The two are together, and Leo Robinson is the glue that holds us together. And I thank you for giving him to us. Whatever I may say today on behalf of South Africa cannot be a higher tribute than the one Nelson Madela paid to Leo Robinson, to the ILWU, to the people of Oakland, and the solidarity communities of the West Coast, when soon after he was released from prison, he thought that he must come to Oakland to address all of you, to address your union, to address your community, and to say to you, thank you very much for his freedom. Thank you very much for our path to democracy, and thank you very much for realizing our dream of a free, non-racial, non-sexist and democratic South Africa. Nelson Mandela decided he must do that in person, and therefore it is for myself and my colleague, the Consul General, Cyril Ndaba, a small sacrifice to be with you today, because we need to show that our heart full of appreciation, our hearts are glad with gratitude for what Leo Robinson has done and for what you have given us. And as we thank Leo Robinson, we thank the ILWU, we thank the Coalition of Black Trade Unions, we thank the African Liberation Support Committee, the Free South African Movement, Clark's Union Local 34, the Inland Boatmen's Union, and the communities who stood up and said, an injury to one is an injury to all, and fought for the end of apartheid. Your actions came at a crucial time in the history of South Africa. Leo Robinson joined this union when apartheid thought it had destroyed the African National Congress and the anti-liberation movement. Nelson Mandela and his comrades were in jail for 20 years or more. Oliver Tambo and his comrades were exiled in places like Zambia, Tanzania, and Angola. The people of Sharpeville had been massacred in the streets of Africa. The youth of Soweto were being massacred in the streets of Soweto. Apartheid thought that it was invincible. Apartheid thought it could reign forever. They did not reckon with the courage of the South African people and the solidarity of Americans led by Leo Robinson, and that was decisive. Apartheid thought that it had a new lease on life. When taking the office of number 10 Downing Street in London was Margaret Thatcher. Occupying the White House in Washington, D.C. was Ronald Reagan. Apartheid thought it had been put on life support and it would survive another few decades. They did not reckon with a humble worker in San Francisco who would fire the imagination of hundreds of thousands of Americans. They did reckon with Leo Robinson. It was in 1967 that Leo Robinson and the ILWU signaled their intention that apartheid was the enemy when they launched that one-day boycott and started the spark that would ignite the passion in all of you. It was, however, in 1984, immediately after Ronald Reagan won landslide election for a second term and announced constructive engagement, it was then that that ship, the Ned Lloyd Kimberley, entered the port of San Francisco, laden with from apartheid South Africa. For 11 days, Leo Robinson, the ILWU, the Clerks Union, and the people of Oakland and San Francisco decided that's going to be the Waterloo for apartheid in the United States of America. Never before and probably never again has the United States seen the will of the working class, seen the solidarity of the communities, the fury of people who by virtue of the color of their skin felt the squeeze in the world. Never again has the United States seen action that kind that held a ship in the harbor without the South African goods being offloaded. That was the end of apartheid ships coming anywhere on the west coast of the United States, anywhere where the ILWU was strong, anywhere where Leo Robinson's influence was felt. It was a short 2 years later, that Ronald Reagan experienced a revolt in his own party as Senator Lugar broke ranks, joined with another Californian, Bob Adams and Bill Gray, and overturned the veto from the White House and made sure a comprehensive Anti-apartheid Act would be passed in the United States and would forever change the support of the USA for apartheid South Africa. I end up by saying that at this moment when we commemorate the death of Leo Robinson and celebrate his life, much of what he stood for is under attack all over the world. This working class champion, this activist and this leader find that the rights he gained for workers are being rolled back, not in the United States, but all over the world. The human solidarity that he embodied is being rolled back as humanity is being fragmented and people are called the other. People are being discriminated against. People are being isolated and alienated. This internationalist that was Leo Robinson now finds himself in a situation when globalization pits workers in one country against workers in another country, and we need to protect the gains that he has made. Most importantly, we must defend his vision that workers have the right to decide what kind of world it is going to be. Ordinary people, workers, blacks, people all over the world on the poor side of the poverty scale need to have a say in what kind of world it is going to be. In honor of Leo Robinson, we need to say that we want the world to be a gentler place, a better place, a more progressive place, a more equal place, a place where poverty is bashed and where obscene wealth is shared far more equitably amongst the people of the world. Leo Robinson fought for us to have in what the world will be like. We need to pick up that battle and we need to run with his vision. It is with that in mind that I come here today, together with the Consul General, in order to express physically our appreciation. I come here to hand over to Mrs. Johnny Robinson a symbol of the enduring gratitude that South Africa has for her and for her husband and her family, Leo Robinson. I come here to award the Nelson Madela Award for Freedom.